Hey foodies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making Abacha Hiorahio. This is a very popular delicacy in my village, Ojiri Vamanko in Enugu State to be precise. So you can tell by the way we are munching this Abacha that it is so delicious. So sit tight and let's get right into the video. Have you ever heard where you say I'm making Abacha and there is no Abacha? Now, this is our principal ingredient, our oga pata pata. And you know, after the chairman, we have the vice. You can't compromise red oil. You must put it in your abacha. Some red onions, seasoning cube. I love maggi crayfish in my abacha. This type of fish is type of fish that you use to eat abacha. Like, can't ask anybody. They will tell you like, this is abacha ijatazo. If you have been following up on my cookings, you know that Cameroon pepper has a special place in my heart. And the pepper you can also use to make this abacha is osibo, this tiny pepper. I don't know what it's called in English. Last but not the least, salt. So one advice I will basically give you is whenever you want to make this type of abacha, you have to make sure that your meal prep, you start with your meal prep first. Cut your onions if you need to, anything that you need to get ready, get everything ready and set it aside, and then add them as you need them, because it doesn't make sense sometimes when you add the oil and then you try to cut onions, the oil is overheating and everything. You don't want that skelter in the kitchen. So to calmly cook your abacha, so do your meal prep first. Slice your onions, dice your onions, however you want to do it. Please do not look at how I'm doing this, how I was cutting the onions, because my village people were not allowing me to show my professional chef style. So another advice is be generous with your onions, and your abacha will thank you for it. And once that is done, you set your onions aside and then proceed to the next level. So this recipe is pretty much a very simple recipe, and you can be done in 15 minutes or even less. So now we just get a pot, heat it up, add a red oil, allow it to heat up for a few minutes, and then you add your onions. So if you notice that there wasn't much meal prep to be done, you just like get your salt and maggi and pepper, get them ready, get them where you can just easily pick them and throw it in when it's needed. And then for the fish that you're using, you have to soak it in hot water, debone it, and then use the fish, the abacha, you run it through with normal water. That's all you need for this recipe. Like, how cool is that? Normally at this stage, I would have added some crayfish if I had some. So, but this fish, the way I added it is sufficed. So if you have the crayfish, you can easily add it at this stage now, and it is very okay. But if you have the fish and you have the crayfish to add, why not? Who doesn't love those blend of flavors? So just add the fish, allow it for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go in with my seasonings, because I love to add everything inside the oil so that it gets incorporated. I love Cameroon pepper, like, oh, the heat, the flavor, I don't know, but I just love Cameroon pepper. But please add to your preference, add the much that you can tolerate. Don't go and add so much. But you know, red oil has a way of maxing the spiciness. So the next we're going to be adding now is our abacha. This is our abacha. You know, it always comes in grand style. Like, you know, when you're coming for red carpet, it doesn't come regular like that. So this abacha, why it's important for you to just run it over on normal water, just run it over on a sieve and bring out the water immediately. Like, don't allow it to even stay like more than a minute. Just bring it out ASAP. That is because if your abacha is soft and you put it inside a pot, it gets softer. But if you add it when it's still hard, it cooks and you get that perfect abacha texture that you want, and not too soggy. You don't want your abacha too soggy, or you don't want it too runny. So what you're going to be doing is, when you see that it's getting dry, just sprinkle in some water. It softens up the abacha. I noticed I didn't add this my maggi crayfish, so I had to throw it in. And make sure that if you're adding your seasoning now, make sure that it is well incorporated. No part is like, maybe one part is tasting salty, one part the salt didn't get there. That is why I always love to add it in my oil. But if you are sure that you incorporate everything well, then you add it and throw everything in, and you're basically done with your recipe. At this stage, abacha is practically done, like it's ready. So just know if it's still too hard, you can just add in a little bit of water. If you need to add up some seasoning, then you balance it up. Like mine, I needed to add the remaining half I left, so that is why I just added that in and mix that all up together. So who is familiar? Have you ever heard of abacha herayo? All these my Enugu people, please let us link up in the comment section. One thing that you will notice in this abacha is that there is no account or anything. Like if you're like, for me, there are some types of abacha I love eating. I love abacha kidi and then this abacha herayo. But those ones that they add potash, I like them, but to some extent, you know. But this one, is my all-time favorite. If you're familiar with abacha herayo, like I would like to know how you prepare yours normally. What's your own kind of different recipe? If it's not this type, what's your different type? The other day, my husband made abacha herayo and he added uziza leaf. Like I was like, who does that in abacha? And then I had a taste of it. I was like, why did you make so small? Like the abacha was so nice. So if you want to change up your game in this abacha, just add in uziza leaves. You would love it. I would have added some in this recipe, but the time I made this abacha, I just couldn't go to the market to buy the uziza leaves. That is why. But just try it and just tell me in the comment section how it ended up. Try out this recipe for a loved one and come back and tell me the reaction, if it was nice and if it wasn't. Like everybody I've made this abacha for, they always like say, I love abacha. So my foodies, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Like you could tell from my excitement that this abacha was it was all shades of yummy. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share with a friend. Always come back for more. See you in my next video. Bye.